President Donald Trump this week dispatched Secretary of State Mike Pompeo to Saudi Arabia and Turkey to find out what happened to Jamal Khashoggi. Back in the United States, Vice President Mike Pence on Tuesday called for answers to questions about the Saudi journalist's disappearance, noting the world needs to know if Khashoggi was in fact murdered and who ordered it.
Any loss of life is grievous. Any act of violence that claims a life is to be condemned. But this was also an assault on a free and independent press. So we're going to demand answers.
Khashoggi entered the Saudi consulate in Turkey on October 2nd and never left. The journalist's unexplained disappearance and reports he was killed and dismembered have outraged U.S. lawmakers.
If Saudi Arabia took a U.S. resident, lured him into a consulate, and killed him, it's time for the United States to rethink our military, political, and economic relationship with Saudi Arabia.
In a letter to the White House, a bipartisan group of 22 U.S. senators is urging an investigation under the Global Magnitsky Human Rights Accountability Act. The act is named for Sergei Magnitsky, a Russian lawyer and accountant who died in a Moscow prison after reporting tax fraud involving Russian government officials. Bill Browder, who hired Magnitsky for the corruption probe, was central in the legislation's approval in 2012. He told VOA the Global Magnitsky Act was passed specifically for this type of horrifying crime.
The basic rules of the Magnitsky Act is to sanction people who are involved in torture, extrajudicial killings, and other human rights abuses, and particularly people who are critics of regimes or journalists or whistleblowers. And here you have exactly that type of situation.
Browder applauds U.S. lawmakers' tough stance and says he hopes for an equally forceful response from the Trump administration. Activists are also calling for accountability. Rob Bershinsky of Human Rights First says the Saudi government, under Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, has undertaken a number of extraordinary and troubling acts in recent months.
Everything from detaining the Prime Minister of Lebanon to imprisoning women's rights activists, imprisoning a number of members of the Saudi royal family.
Bershinsky tells VOA other heads of state and government are looking to the United States for leadership on this matter, particularly since Khashoggi lived in the U.S. state of Virginia. Cindy Saine, VOA News, Washington.